What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some of the current data points, what just came out from the company itself, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. Starting off, it is down 2.34%. Nothing really negative associated to Lucid. It's just merely piggybacking off of the broader market. And the market right now is selling off a little bit, slightly. So as you can kind of see, it's the NASDAQ itself is going down. But right now, the only thing that really came out from Lucid itself was this. So Lucid appoints Twork as head of global communications. But in this actual PR, there's one thing that I wanted to bring up. So of course, he has a good history, as what usually is within the automotive industry. And so I think he's going to be a fairly good addition to Lucid. No real reason to buy Lucid or sell it based on this information, in my opinion. But what Lucid started with, I'll have to look back to see how they started their previous PRs, but this right here, so it says June 25th, 2024, Lucid Group, maker of the world's most advanced electric vehicles. This right here is new, and honestly, I love their boldness. Peter said that many times. That's part of his salesman speech, but I love the fact that they're adding it to their PRs. They are confident as hell that they have the best technology, and yeah, I think that's definitely a very, very good thing. So yeah, other than that though, no real news, no SEC filings, even on social media, not all that much. Couple articles are coming out, mostly bearish, some of which is a little bit neutral. So this one right here, so Lucid stock faces significant short selling activity, and so this came out late last night, which is very true. So right now, shorts are returning 463,000 shares. 28.62% of the free float is being shorted. So every Wednesday, I do a top 5 most heavily shorted EV stocks under this channel. Under Financial Journey, because this one's going to be under the dedicated Lucid channel. But yeah, Lucid is always, for the most part, either number 1 or number 2 most heavily shorted EVs out there. So I would like to know, at what stage does this change? And does interest rates need to happen, for cuts need to occur in order for shorts to kind of ease off on Lucid? Is it ramping up on production? What is it really to do with Lucid? Because as I've said in the past, some people think that I focus too much on shorts, but this is just in reality one tool that we can use to really analyze. And these are the individuals betting against the underlying asset. So to kind of judge why they're doing it is very important, because there's plenty of EV stocks just within that sector alone that don't produce anything, but yet they have maybe a 15% short interest. So in my opinion, I do feel that this is relevant and something to kind of take note of. Why is Lucid at 30% and other automakers that, again, don't produce anything, burning through a lot of cash, are at 15? So something just doesn't add up. Utilization 97.23%. Cost to borrow average is 26.5% through IBKR. Roughly around 550,000 shares is available, and they're charging around 22.61. So kind of even regard when it comes down to that. So when it comes to their upcoming Q2 earnings, numbers should be locked in momentarily within this week. So this is the last week within Q2. And right now, looking at what analysts are forecasting, roughly based on 9 estimates done by analysts, negative 25 cents for the earnings per share. And then for revenue, you have it around 168.36 million, and that is based on 10 analysts. This usually does change based on once Lucid does unveil their Q2 production and delivery numbers. Then, of course, you can kind of just plug and play and it'll adjust the revenue, but not all of that much as far as changes, and you can kind of tell that based on the analyst ratings. So last several were last month. So probably once they do unveil their numbers, their Q2 numbers, that's where we'll have a little bit more updates for that. And one thing as well, I just wanted to share with you, latest Morningstar report does show the fair market value for Lucid being $4.39. So something to consider. Again, as I've shared with you in the past, if you're looking for a lot of good compiled information, such as everything I shared with you, completely free. Take a look at that in the description below or the comments. highly recommend you guys looking at IBKR, even if it's just for information purposes. But moving on from here, let's go over some of the data points. So market's been open a good 4 hours, 3.5 hours, 69,000 in calls, 117 in puts. So dollar value is very low. 63% of all the options being done today are optimistic and bullish. And of the call options that are being purchased, there's a consensus for it to be above roughly $2.50 to the $3 range. And then on the flip side, looks like people are anticipating for it to be sub $2.50. So I think right now people are just kind of stuck in limbo waiting for something from the company itself, as well as not necessarily just Lucid, but the broader market. A lot of people are kind of wondering, it's like, so are we in fear mode? Should we panic, or are we good? Like, I feel like just we're kind of stuck in limbo. And as of yesterday, not all that much, but you did have roughly 5 transactions on the secondary market above $100,000. One big one right here, so 1.7 million. So it's going to progress. So probably near the tail end of the day, you're going to have institutions buying up Lucid because, again, this is the last week in Q2, so rebalancing is going to be occurring. So something to kind of consider. Right now with it at $2.51, it is trading between this S2 and this S1. So Lucid did fail to get above this S1 recently, so $2.56 is going to be that next strong resistance / target. In fact, it did bounce off of that today. So the high so far is $2.57. So right now the next strong support is $2.36. So very wide gap. So anticipate a lot of volatility in the foreseeable future. And right now, just to give you, going back over to options, looking at the open interest, you do see 9,000 in open interest at the $2.50 strike price. So you are probably going to see some manipulation coming from shorts near the tail end of the week as it tries to suppress it below $2.50 once again, as I shared with you last week. But on the actual chart itself, lower percentile of the Bollinger Band stochastic is very oversold. So if there's a good piece of news that does come out associated to Lucid, then you could have a nice run, or at least value investors kind of gravitating towards Lucid. But oddly enough, number of retail investors are selling out today. So let me know your thoughts on Lucid. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. I feel like right now, on kind of a side note, one thing that Lucid could really put out is a updated gravity video. I think that would kind of sit well with a lot of investors. I think right now people just need some inspiration or something from Lucid itself. So let me know your thoughts. And one final thing on a side note, to take advantage of this promo, highly recommend signing up because you get 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. Take advantage of this. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.